What's going on, YouTube? I'm going to be breaking down the Michigan State-Oregon game. This is for Friday, October 4th. Michigan State is a big-time dog in this one, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. We got Friday night college football. Oregon's looking to continue that push for the national championship. Playoffs first. Let's start small. Playoffs first, then the national championship. Michigan State's in their way. Let's break it down a little bit, guys. We're just going to talk about the game, and then we're going to move on to some player props. I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite picks for this game. I'm going to be doing them on BETR. Okay, so get the BETR app to tail these picks. Use code SSWIN. There's a code at the bottom of the screen here. You use that code, you're going to get up to a $200 deposit match. Anyways, let's get right into the game. Look at the line here. It opened at 26.5 for Michigan State, which means Oregon was at minus 26.5. Guys, that is a huge spread. Clearly, the money was going towards Michigan State because the books closed that line a little bit. When the money is going on the dog, the spread gets smaller. When the money is going on the favorite, the spread gets bigger. This spread is shrinking. That means a lot of the money is going towards Michigan State. And you'll see that here in a minute when I go a little bit lower on this screen and break it down some more. You can see the money line here. Not really a great bet unless for some reason you got some information or you have a gut feeling, whatever it may be, that Michigan State is going to pull out the upset. That's going to be a huge payout. That's not happening. I'm going to tell you right now, Oregon's not losing to Michigan State. If that happens, I will eat my words. I promise you that on my next video, I will eat my words. Oregon's sitting at 4-0. Michigan State's actually sitting at 3-2. They're not a terrible football team. All right, but they are not Oregon. Oregon Ducks are legit this year. We all know that, guys. If you look at it here, you can see they are 3-2 on the season against the spread. 2-3 Michigan is, and Oregon is 1-3 on the over/under. Michigan is 1-4. Oregon is 2-2. Right now, the over/under sitting at 52.5. Odds to go over and under are the same. Just a coin flip, pretty much, in the sense of the over and the under. Let's scroll down a little bit. You can see here. We got Ducks, minus 23.5, like I said earlier, minus 114 odds. A lot of that money is on Michigan State. That's a big spread, even with Oregon as the favorite here. 23.5 is a big spread, especially in a Big Ten conference matchup. I mean, typically the Big Ten is fairly competitive. I do think it's a little more lopsided this year than it has been in the past with the new additions of Oregon, USC. Who else am I missing? A lot of teams came over from the Pac-12 and joined the Big Ten, so it is a little more lopsided now, especially with teams like Michigan State being down compared to what they usually are. Illinois has still been competitive. I do think they're a good football team. But anyways, minus 23.5. The money, 63% of the money is on the Spartans. This is one that I'm going to avoid. I really think, based on the matchup and what I've seen so far this year, I do think Oregon can cover that 23.5. A lot of the public is saying that Michigan State's the play. You know, I don't like to always run with the public, but when it's 60-40, 50-50, something like that, I do think there is more of a chance that it could go either way. Now, if this was like a 99% of the money was on Michigan State, I would hammer Ducks all day because the books are not about to lose 99% of their money. They're going to adjust that line and do what they have to do to recoup some of that. The play I do like, I'm looking at over here at the over-under. We've got 89% of the money on the over. 89% of it, 75% of the public bets on the over. That's sitting at 52. Can that happen? Yes, I do think that can happen, but I think this could be like a 40-10 type of game in favor of Oregon, where it does go under, and 89% of that money is on the over. If we look up here, that line never changed. 52.5 was the total. So that line never changed, and a lot of that money is on the over. So if I'm what my thoughts are is if all that money was hitting the over, and that line doesn't change, that means that they think that's a pretty fair line. The books do in that sense, and they're going to keep it that way so that money keeps going towards the over so that they can cash out when it actually goes under. So I'm going to take the under on this one. This isn't one that I'm like hammer that bet. I'm not going to tell you guys put 2 units, put 3 units on it. This is one where it's kind of a gut feeling mixed with the numbers here. So I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I'll probably do a half a unit on this one, but I am going to take the under on the total. The total score here for Michigan State and Oregon under 52.5. So let's move into the player prop side of things, guys. And like I said, I'm going to do this on BETR. My first prop is going to be Dillon Gabriel. We're going to go passing TDs. Now this line is set at 2.5. We're actually going to take an alternate line. On BETR, they have what's called a boost. So we got a boost play. And when you get a boost play, you actually get paid 2 for 1, essentially. So instead of it counting as 1 pick, if the play hits, it counts as 2 picks on our payout. So it actually gives us a 10x payout on a 3-man slip, which is huge because we can do 3-man slips. And if we use these boosts on plays that are actually favorable to hit, then we turn what would have been a 5x payout into a 10x payout. We only have to hit 1 out of every 10 slips. So basically, you have to get 3 picks right 1 time out of 10. That's 10% of the time, and we're breaking even. If we do it more than that, we're going to multiply our units. So Dillon Gabriel here, like I said, his line is at 2.5 passing TDs. Looking at his season so far, he's had 2, 2, 2, and 3. All right? That's not favorable for us, right? If we're looking at the passing touchdown line, if you're just looking at the chart. I'm actually taking his line at 3.5 passing touchdowns. So Dillon Gabriel is going to throw 4 touchdowns. That's what's going to boost this play. Now, I will say there's a small probability that's going to happen, right? So if you don't like this play as far as 3.5 passing touchdowns, it's not a bad play to just go with his regular line and go with 2.5 passing touchdowns. I'm not gonna be against that. But to try to get that 10x payout, that booster play or that boost play on BETR, it's a 3.5 passing touchdown line. And I'm feeling like Dillon Gabriel can do this. Based on what that line, that spread is, 23.5 points, that means Oregon's going to be scoring a lot of points if they're going to cover a 23.5 spread. That means Dillon Gabriel is going to have to be throwing the rock. All right, he threw 3 touchdowns last week. He only threw 2 in the 3 games before that. The one thing with Dillon Gabriel is I didn't take his passing yards over because I don't think he's going to play the whole game. I think this is going to be a game where Oregon can march down the field 4 or 5 times, score 4 or 5 times, and go up. And then mid-third quarter, Dillon Gabriel, Tez Johnson, all those guys are going to start coming out of the game. So that's why I'm taking his touchdown line as opposed to his yards line, because he can score quick and get them up, get them a lead, and then come out of the game. Yards, a lot of the time, that comes without scores. So if he's going up and down the field throughout 4 quarters, that's when he's going to start to stack up those yards. That's why, if you guys kind of get what I'm saying, I don't think I worded that properly, but I do think the touchdowns are going to lead to him coming out of the game early, which is why I don't think he's going to get that many passing yards to cover his passing yard line. He may cover it, but it's just a little more risky for me. So 2.5 passing touchdowns on Gabriel. I think that is a great play to take 2.5, but I'm going to take 3.5 on BETR to get that boost. Then I'm going to go to his receiver, Tez Johnson. You guys just heard me talking about passing yards with Dillon Gabriel and why I'm not taking that line. I'm going to actually take the under on Tez Johnson at 92.5 receiving yards. So the reason I'm doing that is because I do think Oregon is going to be close to that 23.5 point spread, and if that's the case, Tez Johnson is coming out of the game pretty darn early. Let's look at his chart here. He had 81 against Boise. He had 0, then 110 yards, 121 yards the last 2 games. The dude is their number 1 receiver. I get that. I'm gonna scroll down here real quick. I'm gonna look at receptions. 12 targets, 3 targets, 7, and 11. He's getting a lot of targets in those games that he's going high in receiving yards. Other than this one, he had 12 targets, only 81 yards. But if he's not playing the whole game, he's not going to get that volume, and he's not going to get these receiving yards. Now, like I said, Dillon Gabriel, I do think is going to throw for over 3.5 touchdowns. So Tez Johnson's going to get his, all right? He's going to get some targets. He's going to get some yards. But for him to go over 92.5 receiving yards, it's either going to be a couple huge plays or he's going to be getting a lot of volume. I do think Terrence Ferguson is going to be targeted a lot in this game, and he may be that guy that has 6 catches for 50 yards, just kind of marching them slowly down the field throughout the game. Tez Johnson, I do think will probably catch a touchdown, but I don't think he's going over on the yards, like I said, based on the amount of play time that he's going to get, because he's going to come out of this game early. If, in fact, that spread is somewhat accurate. If it's a 20-point game around that area, Oregon's going to be pulling their starters. They got a long season ahead of them, and they're trying to go win a natty. So, Tez Johnson, under 92.5 receiving yards. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to move over here into unabated and show you guys the line over here. We're going to go with Aiden Childs. We're going to take his passing yards line, and we're going to hit the under on it. It's set at 174.5 right here on most of these books. You can see 181.5 is what it's at on FanDuel. We're actually getting it at 175.5 on BETR. But what I wanted to show you is most of these books have it, or some of them, the books have it as a coin flip, basically same odds over or under. BetOnline is considered a sharp book. They have the under slightly favored at 174.5. Same here, guys. You got this sports betting book here, slightly favored to go under at 174.5. So based on just those slight odds and the spread on the actual, what the spread of the game is, 23.5 points, I don't think Aiden Childs is going over this. This one's pretty simple for me, not much to break down. Under 175.5 passing yards. That's your slip, guys. There's your props. Dylan Gabriel, over 3.5 TDs. If you want the boost play to get that 10x payout. If you're not comfortable with that, just take him at 2.5 TDs. Go ahead and get that 5x payout. Like I said, this is on BETR. Then Tez Johnson, under 92.5 receiving yards, and Aiden Childs, under 175.5 passing yards. That's your slip, guys. Like I said, if you don't have BETR, use code SSWIN when you sign up. It's been down here at the bottom of the screen this whole video. You're going to get a deposit match up to $200. That's an incredible deal, guys. That's free money that you can basically use on any slip you want. If you wanted to put it on this slip, you can. Think about 10x of 200. What is that, $20,000? No, that's not right. $2,000. My fault. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you can get all my free picks right to your phone. I also have a free pick subscription that will be sent straight to your phone via text message. All my free picks. Just click the link down below. It says free and VIP picks. Free and VIP picks. Thank you guys so much. I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.